The sirens of the morning traffic wailed through the narrow streets like a warning from the universe itself, but for 17-year-old Ayan, the world had narrowed to a single, trembling thought: this was the day that would decide his future. His final exam, the one everyone told him would either open doors or close them forever. He had studied for months, sacrificing sleep, outings, and everything that teenagers his age usually clung to. When he stepped out of his house with a backpack slung over his shoulder, the weight of expectations pressed on him so hard it almost felt physical. But destiny, that unseen puppeteer, had prepared something entirely different for him, something that would challenge his heart more than any exam ever could. Because before noon, the shy student who rarely spoke above a whisper would be standing in the middle of the road with blood-stained hands, his clothes trembling in the wind, not because of fear but because of the impossible choice he had made, choosing a stranger's life over his own dreams. Call to action number 1 after the hook. If you believe kindness, courage, and second chances still matter in this world, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to channel name. Your support helps stories like this reach people who need hope today. From the moment the morning sun rose, the day had felt heavy, as if the sky itself knew that something was about to shift in Ayan's life. He walked briskly along the cracked sidewalk, rehearsing formulas and definitions under his breath, clutching the strap of his worn-out bag. Around him, the city was waking up, vendors shouting prices, buses coughing smoke, and cyclists slicing through traffic with impatient honks. Ayan tried to block out the noise, focusing instead on the future he dreamed of, a future he hoped would lift his parents out of struggle. They weren't poor, but they weren't comfortable either. Every bill mattered. Every opportunity mattered. And this exam? It mattered the most. He was just 5 minutes from the campus when fate intervened. A loud crash tore through the air, sharp enough to make even passing cars jolt. Ayan froze. Ahead of him, a motorcycle lay sprawled on the road, its wheels still spinning. 2 bodies had been thrown hard against the pavement, a man and a woman. The wind carried a woman's broken groan. People slowed but didn't stop. They shook their heads, whispered something about running late, and moved on. It was the kind of moment where the world shows you its coldest truth: everyone is busy, everyone has somewhere to be, and kindness requires sacrifice. Ayan felt his heartbeat shift painfully. He didn't know these people. He didn't know their story. But when he saw the woman attempt to lift her head, her voice cracked with pain, he felt something stronger than fear, an instinct that rose from someplace deeper than logic. He dropped his bag and ran. The man, breathing heavily through clenched teeth, whispered something about his wife's heart condition. His face had gone pale, and his hands shook as he tried to sit up, but the moment he did, he collapsed again. The woman's pulse was weak. Ayan looked around desperately, waving at passing cars, but none stopped. Time was leaking away like water through his fingers, and the campus bell was only minutes from ringing. His exam, his future, his parents' hopes, everything was slipping out of reach, yet the thought of walking away felt like betrayal of his own humanity. He lifted the woman gently, ignoring the sting in his arms, and flagged down a cargo rickshaw because no ambulances were responding. The driver hesitated upon seeing blood but finally agreed when Ayan begged him, his voice cracking. Inside that rickshaw, Ayan held the woman's head in his lap, whispering reassurance he didn't even believe himself. The man sat beside him, clinging to the side rail, tears streaking down his face. The 15-minute ride to the hospital felt like a journey through eternity. Every bump made the woman wince. Every second made Ayan's stomach twist tighter. When they reached the emergency entrance, nurses rushed the couple inside. Ayan stood there, breathless, clothes stained, hands trembling. The hospital smell soaked into him, the disinfectant, the fear, the urgency. He waited for updates, shifting from foot to foot, pacing the corridor even though he knew he needed to be somewhere else. When he finally looked at the clock, his heart collapsed. His exam time had passed, completely, irreversibly gone. He sat on a hard plastic chair, staring at the wall. His future had just changed direction, and he didn't know if it would ever come back. Fear swallowed him. He imagined his parents' disappointed eyes, imagined the world moving on without him. But at the same time, there was a strange stillness inside him, something resembling peace. Because somewhere behind those doors, a woman was breathing because he had chosen to stop. Hours later, the doctor emerged. The woman was stable. The man, who introduced himself as Musa, grabbed Ayan's hands and pressed them to his forehead. Ayan tried to pull away, embarrassed, but the man held tight, tears flooding again. They exchanged no long explanation, no dramatic confessions, just a silent understanding between souls. Musa insisted on taking Ayan home so he wouldn't have to walk in blood-stained clothes. Ayan hesitated but agreed. He thought that would be the end of it. A moment in life. A decision. A quiet sacrifice. Something he would carry alone. But destiny had one more chapter to write. When the rickshaw turned onto his street, Ayan froze. Engines growled. Shadows moved. Leather jackets shimmered under the afternoon sun. Parked along the narrow road stretching farther than the eye could see stood 99 motorcycles. 99 roaring machines, polished chrome reflecting the light like silver flames. 99 bikers stood beside them, tough, towering figures with tattoos, boots, and helmets tucked under their arms. They weren't shouting. They weren't moving aggressively. They were simply waiting. The neighbor kids stared from balconies. Curtains fluttered. Doors cracked open. The whole neighborhood seemed to hold its breath. Musa stepped out first, and the crowd of bikers straightened instantly. These weren't random riders. They were a brotherhood brothers Musa had ridden with for more than 15 years. And news travels fast in brotherhoods made of steel and loyalty. Musa raised a hand toward Ayan. And then, 99 bikers lowered their heads to him. Ayan felt his knees weaken. The world blurred. He didn't understand what he was seeing, what it meant, or how a simple student like him had drawn this unimaginable tribute. The bikers approached one by one, placing their hands on his shoulder, thanking him for saving one of their own. Some had tears in their eyes. Some whispered blessings. Some pressed small patches, emblems of their clubs, into his palms. He didn't know how to react. His heart was overwhelmed, overflowing with a feeling he had never felt before, that sometimes one brave act can echo through entire communities. But the biggest surprise came when Musa stepped forward again, holding an envelope. Inside was a letter from the exam board, an official request for Ayan to retake his exam on a special date due to extraordinary humanitarian circumstances, something Musa had arranged through the hospital's emergency report. Along with it were notes of appreciation, financial support offers, and even college recommendation letters signed by community leaders who learned what Ayan had done. Ayan broke down. Not because of the gifts, or the bikers, or the letter. But because he realized that kindness, even when it demands sacrifice, never really leaves you empty. And as the sun dipped behind the rooftops, 99 bikers stood guard outside his home, engines rumbling like a symphony of gratitude, ensuring the boy who saved a life understood that he was no longer alone in this world. Call to action number 2, near ending. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, and share. It helps our channel grow and reminds others that humanity still shines in the smallest moments. Special request. Before you go, write in the comments, kindness always comes back.